What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Marlon. We are back at it again here with another edition of the show. So if you do like these news videos Monday through Friday, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button and turn on that post notification bell. Let's see if we can get over 300 likes on these news videos. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. All right, man. So right off the rip, guys, we're hearing that Sony will eventually abandon console exclusives. And this is kind of crazy because we're hearing this from Moon Studios CEO. And listen, we have already seen Sony slowly drifting away from just keeping their games exclusive to their own box, right? On top of that, we're going to talk about a new God of War game that is heavily rumored right now in the Egyptian mythology. Obviously, we heard last year Cory Barlog was teasing, his next project and stuff like that. So lots of stuff to kind of go over and discuss there, but let's talk about what's going on because Microsoft head of Xbox, Phil Spencer had an interview with Destin Legary yesterday and also with Paris Lily and Gamertag Radio. And pretty much, man, the floodgates are open right now. Xbox is like, listen, let's open up Pandora box. Let's let all these games out and let them go on other platforms. Well, Sony is having a different strategy and a different approach. Yes, I think eventually the inevitable will happen in the future where Sony is going to be doing day and date with PC. I mean, come on, we're already seeing it happening already. A lot of the console exclusives are going to PC. Look at Rise of the Ronin. Look at Spider-Man 2. I mean, a lot of people thought, okay, it's probably going to be 2 or 3 years before that happened. I mean, that's like half of 2 years and it's already coming out on PC. So everything goes to PC, whether it's a year minimum or not. So I think that window is going to get shorter and shorter and shorter as time progresses. And so yeah, I do believe eventually that Sony will follow suit and abandon console exclusivity, because sometimes, man, you put so much time and effort. Look how much money these games cost, right, to make. And you can only reach but so much when it comes to consoles. And I know that Sony is leading in terms of, hardware sales and stuff. But hey, most of these games max maybe 10 million copies, maybe even 15 million. But just on the regular for Sony, I think it's like at 10 million copies, sometimes 15, depending on how the game sets. But yeah, why settle for 10 or 15 million copies when you can even do more? And that's why Sony went with that strategy in the first place of putting their games on PC. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and let's take a look at this actual article here. Now it says right here, PlayStation will eventually abandon console exclusives and follow Xbox strategy, Moon Studios CEO believes. Now, obviously this was a big discussion here. So basically, let's talk about this. So console exclusivity will eventually become a thing of the past for PlayStation, as it has with Xbox, due to how consoles and the market as a whole have changed, the Moon Studios CEO believes. Now, obviously, Thomas Mahler, he was out on Twitter and he was talking about this for like several reasons. Now, a few years back, the studio decided not to make No Rest for the Wicked under Microsoft because it would have prevented the game from being released on PlayStation consoles and Nintendo Switch, and would have impacted the game considerably, as the studio felt that multiplayer and crossplay are an important part of the experience. So I do understand that, because why do you think Square Enix is doing what they're doing right now with multi-platform release instead of just keeping it on PlayStation, which I'm hearing a little bit of mixed bag things on that one. But just to kind of go on this whole charade here, now elaborating further on the limitations of console exclusivity, the Moon Studios CEO gives a very interesting example. Over the years of communicating with Phil Spencer, Thomas Mahler always brought up how crazy it would be if certain DVDs would only play on players made by certain manufacturers. If this is crazy for movies, Mahler asks, obviously, then why is it different when games, considering how both PlayStation and Xbox consoles are powered by essentially the same hardware and have the same controller? At the same time, the console audience hasn't been growing, and obviously for an entire entire industry to grow, access to content must be easier. This is achieved by reducing the cost of the entry, which is what Microsoft is doing with its current strategy. For these reasons, Thomas Mahler concludes he would be surprised. Now listen to this part. He would be surprised if Sony didn't follow Microsoft's strategy and bring an end to the days of PlayStation exclusive releases. So this is crazy. This is crazy, right? So let's switch back. Yeah, man. You know, like I said, we have already seen the plan, and we have already seen what's going on right now, right? Lego Horizon Adventures, that's on Switch. And I do believe that Sony is just going to eventually put more games on the Switch, right? Put more games on PC, and who knows, maybe they might start putting some games on Xbox too. I mean, you never know, considering how the market is. Even Phil Spencer talked about that, you know, yesterday and the day before, obviously when the interview was conducted. But yeah, man, this is something that I think eventually will happen in the future. But like I said, Sony is slow to the punch in terms of it. Microsoft is just like, listen, we are not selling as much as Sony is, so we have no choice but to go full-blown third party. We spend all this money on Activision Blizzard King. We spend all this money on, you know, Bethesda. So we need to recoup a lot of that money and reinvest that money into more IPs and things of that nature. So yeah, I think overall it's gonna happen in the future. Let me know your thoughts in the actual comment section. I definitely do agree. Let me know if you guys do agree with him. But yeah, eventually I think it will happen. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move on to our next topic here. We're talking about a new God of War game is based on Egyptian mythology. So yeah, who is this coming from? Daniel RPK. So let's go ahead and let's read over this and let's discuss this. All right, so this is coming from PSU.com. Rumor, new God of War game is based on Egyptian mythology there. So Egyptian mythology is what we're hearing. Now, Sony Santa Monica studio is based in its next God of War game around Egyptian mythology, according to report from Daniel RPK. According to the report, the developer obviously is currently casting Middle Eastern actors for the new project. However, keep in mind that nothing has been confirmed by Sony, and other than Daniel RPK, the report hasn't been verified by any other source. So please take this rumor, take this as a rumor for the time being. And quote says Sony is casting Middle Eastern actors for an unknown AAA game that is, which is likely to be the next God of War that explores Egyptian mythology. So yeah, the last time, you know, obviously was Norse mythology, and then now, you know, we're hearing that it's going to be you know, Egypt now that they're going to be exploring next. I mean, we've been hearing about this rumor for a long time now, so I mean, it is possible, but things are subject to change, and I don't believe this because there's nobody else is backing this up. So I'm gonna take this with a huge grain of salt. I don't know the track record of Daniel RPK, but y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Do y'all think that Daniel RPK is right? Do y'all think that it's in the realm of possibility for us to get the next God of War game in Egypt and give us an Egyptian mythology aspect of everything in terms of the story and the direction of God of War? Let me know y'all thoughts in the actual comment section. Hit that like button for me and share out the video on top of all that, guys. Thank y'all so much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. We out.